Call of Duty Black Ops 2 came out all the way back in 2012. And now, 12 years later, and just a few months from when this futuristic game actually takes place, we are returning to Black Ops 2 here on the PS3 in 2024 to see if it's still playable online. Is there plenty of people out there? Is it just filled with modders and cheaters? And is there any game-breaking bugs? So with that said, let's just hop right into it. So on a few different Call of Duty games, if you do not have an old original PSN account during the PS3 era, or if you've changed your username ever since then, some Call of Duty games will not save your stats when you play online, meaning every time you restart the game, your stats will reset. On Black Ops 2, however, this does not happen, but instead, anytime you try to play multiplayer or zombies, it will freeze your game, which is kind of weird. But luckily there is a simple fix for this, and that is make sure you are signed offline, meaning you're not signed into PSN, when you actually start up Black Ops 2 and go to multiplayer or zombies. And then you actually have to go and click LAN and play and start a LAN match. And right after the match starts, you can simply end it. And then you can go and press play online and it'll prompt you to sign in. And now you can finally play online without any freezing or issues. Unfortunately, you have to do this every time you switch between multiplayer or zombies. So if you were playing multiplayer, now you have to sign out of PSN, then switch to zombies, then start a zombies LAN match. And then you can finally play online from there. So a little bit of a tedious process, but I mean, at least it's better than losing all your stats every time you restart the game. But besides that, I actually ended up checking out the game all throughout September and early October. I tried to play on different weekdays and on weekends to get a feel of what the player base was like and how lively it was. So first thing I'll say is pretty much any time I got on, there was at least a few hundred people playing. Now that's probably spread out between multiplayer and zombies, but every time I played, I was actually able to play Team Deathmatch. Unfortunately, the only game mode you're pretty much ever going to find is just Team Deathmatch. No one really plays anything else because of the lower player counts, but surprisingly, on BO2 here, you can actually find a decent player base for hardcore Team Deathmatch. So I mean, there's some variety there, right? So for the most part, as mentioned, no matter if it's a weekday or a weekend, of course weekends will have more players generally, but earlier on in the day, you're more likely to find more lobbies leading into the afternoon or nighttime, at least Pacific time for me, and you'd be searching for a little while longer to find lobbies. But luckily enough, on Black Ops 2, you can actually open the filter and filter the matchmaking. So if you choose to have any connection type, it'll connect you with other regions and other locations, and you can still play and find matches even later on at night. As for the actual lobbies you're going to be running into, you will run into a decent amount of modders. I think Black Ops 2 has the most modders of any of these older Call of Duty games on PS3. This time around, when I played, however, recently, I actually didn't run into that many modders. It was probably like 1 in every 4 matches. But last year when I checked out the game, there was one like every other match. So just keep in mind that they're probably still out there. So the kind of cheaters you'll actually run into, it's pretty often you'll run into aimbotters just shooting in the sky, but this time around I actually just ran into a guy who had wall hack, so it was quite clear because he was aiming sort of like through the wall, pre-aiming constantly, and in that same lobby on the guy's team was another cheater who was just sitting in God mode and appeared to be messing with a menu. And I ended up getting his attention, and he gave me and my team like a speed boost, God mode, and just instantly gave us all of our kill streaks. So I actually ended up leaving that lobby, of course, and was able to play other matches just fine just by backing out and finding another lobby. A little later, however, I ended up searching again and got back in with the same guy. And this time around, he was just flying around in God mode, shooting infinite rockets at people. So if you want to avoid people like that, and possibly report them, you can see their usernames in this video. Far less harmful modder I actually ran into simply turned the lobby we were playing in into infected, which was actually kind of unique. It was really modded, so it kind of sectioned off portions of the map, and I didn't really get to play too much of it, but I suppose it's not really cheating, doesn't really ruin the experience necessarily, so I think that one's alright in my book as long as it's not too common. But I think that's about it for the multiplayer side of things. Black Ops 2 on the PS3 here in 2024 is still pretty much casually playable. You can hop in and play a team deathmatch here or there, but it's not necessarily something you're probably going to want to sit and play all day or all night, simply because there's no variety in the game modes and you're going to come across cheaters. But now, taking a look over at zombies, it's sort of a similar thing going on. You can probably find people playing some of the DLC maps in zombies, but I simply have the DLC uninstalled so you can actually find multiplayer matches. But when I checked for Transit, there was always people playing Transit. And as for the survival maps, I actually did find people playing Bus Depot Survival at certain times, and there was just always people playing Town Survival. Sometimes you'd have to wait maybe a minute or two before the lobby might fill up, but for the most part, Zombies is pretty playable. And I never actually ran into any modders throughout my time playing Zombies, but that doesn't mean people aren't out there modding in Zombies. But yeah, guys, that was the state of Black Ops 2 on the PS3 here in 2024. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and do you have any other experiences based on your region? This video is based mainly on the West Coast US region. But with all that said, thank you all for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed and found this useful, be sure to smash that like button, and be sure to subscribe to see some more PS3 videos here in the near future. But until next time, peace out, guys.